Nick Sortor joins us now from East Palestine, Ohio, where the train derailed. He's an independent journalist and co-host of the podcast Roundtable Space. Thanks very much for your time, Nick. Now, what's the situation like there for the people of East Palestine? And just tell us a little bit about what you've learned in your time reporting there.
So thank you for having me. I've only been here for about 5 days now, and what I have learned is people on the ground do not trust their government. They do not trust their state government. They don't trust the Biden administration, which is very sad, because typically in these sort of circumstances, that's who you want to trust. You need your government to help you. This problem came out of no fault of their own, and it's very important that they have that. You know, we pay a lot of taxes. It's very important that we do have the government come in and help these people to ensure their safety, to make sure their kids don't get sick and such.
Can you be more specific about what exactly it is that they feel disappointed by?
Mm-hmm. Well, they're not getting a lot of transparency. There is a total issue with water tests, with air tests, and those are the two main things here. We don't know what chemicals are in the air. I mean, there could be cancer-causing chemicals that are in the air, and we've proven that the water is infested with chemicals. We had a video that I put out on Twitter the other day that has over 14 million views on this.
But that's not proof of waters being toxic. That's a video showing oil slick on the surface. How do you balance the kind of, the caution around being alarmist for people who aren't there, and even if those people are there, how do you balance the caution around alarmism versus actual proof about toxicity?
Yeah, so this is a great question. The question isn't what is in the water, okay? It is that there is something in the water. So the fact that the state government and the federal government are telling us that there is nothing in the water and the water is not polluted is a lie.
Experts aren't saying there's nothing in the water. Environmental toxicology state that the water treatment systems and the latest information from the EPA indicate that it's likely that there are concentrations in the water. In fact, that there are concentrations of toxicity in the water, but not at a level of public health concern.
Well, okay, so here's the issue here. A lot of people around these streams, because there are streams, that is a water source, correct? So you have city water, which are taps that go through a process that filters the water, right? You also have a lot of people, at least 40% of the town, based on the numbers that we have, that are running off of well water, right? That is groundwater, and a lot of these people are near various streams. And when you have toxic chemicals or chemicals in general, right, that are causing, causing these streams to turn into rainbows, and that's running into the groundwater, running into their wells. That water is not safe, regardless of if it is vinyl chloride or not.
It's completely understandable that residents would be cautious, but right. in context, the Obama administration in 2015 enacted a rule that required ECP brakes on the trains carrying crude oil and certain hazardous materials, rules that were scrapped altogether by the Trump administration. Now, you strongly criticize the Biden administration, but you also report that Trump will be able to visit East Palestine. Nowhere in your reporting do you mention the fact that Trump scrapped the very technology that could have lessened the severity of such a derailment.
Okay, why? Tell me why that would have lessened the severity of the incident.
Well, that's what engineers have been citing, that it could have lessened the damage between the trains.
Hydraulic braking would have fixed it?
Well, I mean, that's what engineers are saying. We're not talking about what the engineers are saying. You're saying that the Trump administration is kind of coming to save the day to visit the town, but you're very quick to throw wood at the Biden administration. Well,
the town is throwing wood at the Biden administration, right?
Well, if you look at your Twitter feed, that's the same kind of rhetoric that you've got.
Absolutely, because why would it take 13 days for anybody from the Biden administration to come out and even survey the damage? Okay, the EPA administrator just came out just came out on Wednesday to survey the damage for one of the worst environmental disasters that we have seen in, at least a decade.
That is absolutely fair. I think that it's, the people are right to be angry and you're right to criticize. But do you think that this town is also being used as a political, playbook here?
So in terms of what? Are we talking about the fact that Trump decided he was going to come?
Yeah, absolutely. It's turned into a bipartisan heavyweight to throw between the two parties.
Sure. Well, you say bipartisan, which is true, because nobody here there is negative sentiment to both Republicans and Democrats that came here.
Yeah.
Right? You had a Republican senator of Ohio and a Democrat senator from Ohio, right? They're both U.S. senators. They both waited 13 days to come, right? So the people here are angry about both parties and the inaction from both parties. So yet, while I am criticizing the Biden administration, it's important to note that if any administration refused to acknowledge the issue for 13 days, I would be hypercritical of them, right? There is no reason that this should be a partisan issue. You have toxic chemicals that are in the air. You go there. I had to take 6 hours off one morning on Thursday to recover from a migraine that was induced by these chemicals, from nausea. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And they're telling us that nothing is in the air.
From what I've read, they're not saying nothing is in the air. I think that
nothing toxic.
Yeah, I think that it's fair to say that tests need to be continued, and it's very, very fair that the residents are cautious. I mean, it's an incredibly stressful and dangerous situation, but we really appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
And I appreciate you, and you have been asking tough questions, which I think is very valuable. So thank you so much, and I do respect that.
All right, good luck with your reporting. Nick Sortor there. Thanks very much.